Hi everyone, welcome to my channel where I review the latest movies and documentaries. Today, I'm going to talk about Children of Darkwood House movie. If you're interested in this topic, make sure to watch this video until the end and subscribe to my channel for more content like this. So the story starts from a small town and the time was 1860. We see a house in the middle of the forest. A woman named Florence used to live in this house with her 3 children. The weather was very bad one day. As if the time is 1860. There was no light even at that time. That's why these people used to use candles only. Even today Florence was sitting in her room with her 3 children. Suddenly she has to go down and then she sees someone standing behind her wearing a white cloth. She gets upset when that white cloth was going to her children's room. She gets scared. When Florence goes after him, she doesn't see anyone. But when she comes to her children's room, her son is missing. She asks her daughter. She tells that the black man took her. He felt that his daughter was scaring him like this. Joe has gone down to search for her son. She asks her maid to search for her son. Sometimes he hears the voice again from his children's room. When she goes into the room and looks, she does not find any of her children there. She was very scared and started searching here and there for her children like crazy. Her maid comes to her and tells her that she has not found her children anywhere, yet Florence sees a white cloth behind her. Whoever was behind that cloth was laughing very scary. Florence felt as if it must be her son who was joking with her. But when she removed the cloth, there was no one there. The stories go ahead 3 months from here. We see a lady who was a paranormal investigator, who knew very well about the ancestral spirits and could even talk to them. She was helping a man. That man's son had also gone missing. Then Florence comes there and asks for help, but she refuses to help her. Florence herself was very sad to hear this because her children had not been found yet. We see another lady there whose name was Kelly. She was also a paranormal investigator. But his methods were different. She asks Florence why she has come and she tells that my children went missing 3 months ago and now I feel that there is a shadow in my house. It is the spirit of a man and tells her his name is Nursery Man. She tells that my children used to call that sigh by some name which he told me. So I did not believe what my children said, but now I am sure that that soul has taken my children with itself. I don't know why I feel this way. My children are still alive because along with the single jibe-trony laughter, I can hear my children's laughter and I can also hear my little daughter crying. Hearing this, Callie agreed to help him. The next day she went to his house. All the mirrors in her house were covered with cloth, because she could see that soul in the mirror. When Kelly removes a cloth from a mirror and looks at it, she does not see anything. Here we come to know that this house was the family home of Florence's husband and her husband had also died a few years ago. She asks the buds, "Where do you hear the voices of your children the most?" She tells him about the children's room. This is where she takes out her dosing rods. These were the rods with the help of which one could talk to the spirits. When the first comes to the children's room, she feels as if someone has slapped her. Kelly says to Florence's children, "Are you guys here? If you are, then you make me feel your presence." Then the ABC blocks come and fall down. He was making the word here, which means we are here. Then the rods in his hands become hot, due to which his hands get burnt. After this we see the house across the street. Another's son was also there. She tells her son about Florence and that she needs her help and also asks her son to bring some books. Her son gives Gally the letter written by Florence. Now she does not want to live in her house, and by staying in that house, she also misses her children and whatever happened with Carrie in her house, she was also telling her to stay away from this case. But Kelly is determined that she will definitely solve the case. After a week, she shifts to the same house and then she removes the cloth from all the mirrors in the house. Now she stands in front of the mirror and starts looking without blinking her eyes. It is here that Kalia first puts holy powder outside the children's room so that any soul present in this room will not be able to go out. Along with this, she also rings 3 or 4 bells and to complete the mirror method, she reads a book so that she can peep into the other world. But then she can see someone sitting on a chair in the mirror. It is here that she also senses Florence's daughter, who had turned around and come back to her room. Here the spirit of the Nursery Man was also trying to scare Callie again and again. So the spirit of the Nursery Man scares her again. She tells him that you cannot scare me nor do any harm to me. When she went to sleep, on a stormy night, she heard someone crying from the children's room. When she went there and looked, there was a drawn doll lying there. The next day, Callie looks at her neck in the mirror. There was strange marks on it, and there were also blocks lying there on which it was written that I can do the icon, after which she also keeps some coins outside the children's room so that the spirit cannot harm her. He also finds a drawing made by the Nursery Man with a written on the back of it. One day his son sends him a letter because he had heard about an evil woman who used to live in a house in what is now Florence. That's why after being told by her son, Callie wants to meet that evil woman. The evil woman tells her that she has felt someone's spirit in that house and has also seen it in the mirror many times. It has been 70 years since this happened, but even today I am afraid of that spirit. The woman tells, this same spirit had also made my brother disappear, and my brother has not been found till date, after which we left that house, otherwise he would have killed me too. During the conversation, Callie's hand-drawn drawing of the Nursery Man was revealed, which the woman recognized as the drawing had been made by the woman's brother who had disappeared. She tells that when my brother tried to tell everyone about this, no one believed him. Lee asks the old woman, is there no way to stop this spirit? The older woman says no. Even 7 years ago, a man came to me, who lived in the same house and his children had also gone missing. He also came to me asking for help, and here's what we find out. The older woman was talking about this man. He was none other than Florence's husband. Florence's children had gone missing 3 months ago. So why her husband had come to this woman 7 years ago for his children, we will know later. While leaving, the bad woman tells a surprising thing to Callie. She gave me a mark, after which she kills every person to whom she gives a mark. But I left that house. That's why I'm alive. When Callie shows her mark, the older woman says you have to leave that house quickly. Your life is in danger, but Callie doesn't listen to that evil woman and goes away. She had now come to Florence. Gives her the civilization the older woman told her about. After listening to everything, Florence was blaming herself because she did not believe what her children were saying. Although her children had also told her this. When I ask her the reason for her husband's death, she tells that the spirit had given a mark to her husband, after which he died, and has given me exactly the same mark. That's why I left that house. Hearing this, Callie came back to her home because she had ordered some books from her son which were written by none other than Florence's husband, because he used to teach in the university. Callie's son brings back lots of books from the Darkwood house. Lee and his son spend the whole night reading their books, but find nothing, and then the street son feels as if someone has placed a hand on his shoulder. She gets very scared, and due to this fear, she leaves from there. Lee comes to know the real truth when she reads a book written by Florence's husband there. Florence's husband used to live in the same house since childhood. That spirit used to scare him even in his childhood. But when he grew up and got married, he became a soul. He was also called a Nursery Man. He made her children disappear. Again Florence's husband, from whom she had 2 children. This time Florence's husband was ready to face that spirit, but this time too his children disappeared. Then he married Florence. That means Florence was his 3rd wife. This time too he was ready to face that spirit. But before that he himself died, and then Florence's children disappeared. After knowing all this, she goes to the children's room where the spirit of the Nursery Man was coming and scaring her again. When she tells all these things to Callie Larson, she cries a lot and is unable to control herself. Because of this, Callie gets him admitted to the hospital. Then comes back to Florence's house. Here his son also came to meet him, who when he comes and goes to that room, reaches there and sees the coins which Carrie had kept there. Callie's son removes one of those coins. Then Callie's son hears the sound of children crying. Then he calls Callie, and there was no one there. Suddenly the door was closed. On the other hand, Lawrence had sacrificed his life by digging. Callie now comes to Florence's house again and challenges the spirit that you can't scare me, and breaks all the mirrors in the house. After which she says to that spirit, "Leave my son. If you want to take him, then take me along." When she searched, she found her son. Now she takes him to her home, where she finds a book in which she comes to know that in earlier times people used to do a magic, so that Kelly is the method here. If the bones of that person are taken out, cleaned, purified and buried in the ground, then that soul will be freed. After knowing this, Kelly now goes to Florence's house again. Kelly had found the mark when she searched. He finds a skull in that room. She gives him to her son to bury him. But as soon as she starts leaving, a spirit comes there and knocks Kenny unconscious. Florence's house catches fire, but Kelly's son takes the skull outside and buries it in the soil. After which we see a man near Kelly giving him a hand and lifting him up. Outside, Garley's son was looking at his mother, who was asking him to come towards her. When he goes after his mom Kelly, he finds Kelly's dead body. Yes, Kelly was dead, and her son picks her up and takes her with him while crying. Whoever tried to face that spirit here lost his life. But by dying, he had destroyed that soul forever. But in return she lost her life, and the man we saw who gave Kelly his hand was the spirit of her husband, who came to take Kenny with her. That's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it and learned something new. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment below. Let me know what you think about this movie and what other movies or documentaries you want me to review next. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more videos like this one. Thanks for watching and see you next time.